Right. 5 out of 5 toaster strudels.
Ding dong.
Yes, I am a ding dong.
By your own words.
Hoist by my own petard, if you will. What are you, hoist by your own retard? Okay, anyway. Well, shall we get started?
Let's do this.
Damn it, I always forget to turn it upside down. Welcome to a Shinn Show. I'm your host, Pete Shinn. With me, son Nick and daughter Sarah. It's the slimmed down edition. It's just us three today, kids.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
We're the Three Musketeers or some trite bullshit.
Right. Well, we're the only three that showed up, so.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Platinum Trio, but I mean, the Platinum Trio's got a little bit more weight to it than the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, the Platinum Trio sounds kind of like an adult dancer show at a gentleman's club. Welcome.
Yeah, sure.
Well, how do you think we earn money for this show?
That's a good point right there. Here's how we earn money: by fake sponsorships from Ziff's, fine dining and a relaxed continental atmosphere in Invercargill, New Zealand, and by the Throne Room, also in Invercargill, New Zealand. Neither one of us paying us a damn dime for mentioning them every week.
We make all of our imaginary money from our imaginary sponsorship at Ziff's.
It's so true.
And then on the weekends at the Gentleman's Club.
Yeah. Hey, I was thinking, do you think you'd be able to play the intro backwards? Like just flip the harmonica upside down and play it from muscle memory? If you had like earplugs in?
Probably so, yeah. It would not sound like anything. It would sound like a horrific caterwauling. Is what it would sound like.
Caterwauling. That's a good word.
Yeah, it is. I think I called it caterwauling, but I think you're right. It is caterwauling. It's a mess of noise, that's for sure. So
that should be our show's tagline.
A mess of noise.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is the slimmed down mess of noise edition. That's what this one is.
Excellent. Sarah, do you have any well, I guess we should start off the way we always start off.
Yeah, we should, which is any interesting personal news of note?
I'm about 99.7% done with the fucking patio that's been plaguing me since May.
Yeah, it's really close now. Looks very, very good.
How badly do you? Good. Yeah, that is good. How badly do you think your animals are going to destroy it after you finish it?
Not too bad. It's pretty it's in there pretty tight. Now the furniture that I bought to put on top of it, that's a whole nother story.
The what you put on top of it?
The furniture.
Oh yeah. Which reminds me of one of my top 5 favorite jokes of all time. Have I told you this joke? I'm sure I have.
Yeah, undoubtedly. But let's hear it anyway.
What's green and Irish and sits in your backyard?
I don't know. What?
Patio furniture.
All right. Anyway, yeah, it'd be pretty fucking hard for animals to destroy that.
Yeah,
you'd have to. I think you'd need tools.
Okay, good. Well, that's good because you need some sturdy stuff to resist your animals.
Yeah.
Your animals be strong. Your animal game be strong, yo. Ermac game be strong.
I will say that I think one of our cats has worms, so he has a vet appointment tomorrow.
Oh, wow. A cat has worms?
I think so.
How does a cat get worms? Eating
dead things, yeah.
Ugh. Cats are gross sometimes.
Cats are fucking nasty.
Well, they're animals. They're filthy animals.
Filthy.
All right, so you finished your patio?
Ungovernable.
Well, they are ungovernable. Good for you, Sarah. Well done finishing that patio. Very engineer-y of you.
Well, I do what I can, I guess.
Yeah, as an engineer.
Right.
Nick, any interesting personal news now that we know that you're getting your new place? Any progress on that front?
No, I mean, all the progress has been made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all ready to go. Have you delivered
it.
Have you delivered a deposit check or anything like that?
Kinda, yeah. Like the whole application fee, they were like, you're going to just put the deposit in with this application fee. When you
do that.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Are you like sliding down in your chair? That's what it kind of looks like.
Well, yeah, I can hear myself I'm echoing really bad, so it's like making it hard for me to concentrate on what I'm saying. But
you look fantastic, though.
Thanks. But anyway, so you put in a $250 deposit with the application, which you get back if you don't get approved, but it did get approved, so that counts as the application.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, you're approved. Well, good. So do you have all the furniture you need and so on?
He's got a bed. What more do you need?
Yeah, I have a bed and a lawn chair. And a shitting bucket. Not that I need it.
Came with those.
Not that I need it, but just to have it.
Right, but you might.
Bucket goes into that category of I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Sure, yeah. Well, what about a dresser? Like a dresser drawer to keep your clothing in?
I'm a shitting bucket half empty kind of guy, which is the opposite of glass half empty kind of guy.
Yeah.
You want your shit bucket to be half empty. That's the optimist.
It also means he has no intention of ever purchasing a set of drawers. You could put them underneath your TV.
You need a chest of drawers. What do you keep your clothes in now?
I think she meant drawers as in underwear.
No, I definitely did not. I sure hope you have.
I thought she was going along with my joke. All right, never mind. No, I have a dresser.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, I do have a dresser. I possess a dresser. Yes.
You're
not a fucking savage. Yes, I know how to goddamn use it. You put clothes in with it.
Really? Because right now it kind of looks like you're living out of laundry baskets.
Well, that's because I'm going to be moving all my clothes.
Right.
Why would I put them in a dresser when I'm going to take them out of that dresser anyway to move a new one into this apartment?
I have never known you did not live out of laundry baskets. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's not true. I use dressers all the time. All my life.
Yeah. He's a dresser.
I know how they work.
He's a dresser possessor.
I know how they work. Okay, I dabble in dressers.
All right, so you got a dresser. Good for you. That's good.
I think.
I think you do. All right, so you do believe. Well then,
do you or do you not?
I do. I'm pretty sure, like 85% sure.
Yeah, you would know. I mean, because your clothes are coming in from somewhere. I mean, you're picking them out of something. I mean, in fairness, though, Sarah's right. A laundry basket does not count as a dresser, even though it contains clothing.
I'm well aware of what constitutes the difference between a laundry basket and a fucking dresser, okay? I know that they're not the same thing.
Okay, good. Well, then I don't understand how you can possibly be only 85% sure on this dresser.
I know that the laundry basket is the one where you put your TV on it, right?
Well, it can be used for that purpose, yes.
Or have I been fooled this whole time?
You've been fooled this whole time. You know, I do wish your Uncle Guy was joining us. He's not with us this week, obviously. But if he were here, he could expound upon the fact that when he was a youth, he was asked what he'd like to be when he grew up, and he stated that he'd like to be a dresser drawer.
I mean,
that would fit right into this conversation.
We only aspire to be so functional in our adult lives.
Indeed. That's exactly it. That's a functional wish. I'd like to be a dresser drawer. All right. Well, anyway, enough of that. So has anything else happened to you this week, Nick, besides becoming 85% sure that you own a dresser?
Well, to be fair,
happened just now. I don't know.
Yeah, that happened just now. That wasn't over the course of the week. I didn't just slowly become 85%. I wasn't 1% sure at the beginning of the week, and then slowly progressed to the 85 mark right here. But no, I feel like there's some shit that always happens some point during the week, and then I just forget about it.
But no near-death experiences like some prior weeks or anything like that.
No, nothing like that.
No arrests of handymen or anything?
No, god damn it, dude, but check it out. I do have an update on that story.
Yeah, good.
Man, I fucked up real bad, dude.
Yeah, what?
Because he left some more propaganda, and I forgot to fucking take it when I went home. I forgot to fucking take it. Who knows if it's still there. Some reason people at my job want to throw that shit away. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Why would you throw this away?
Right.
Why would you not want to keep this and show this to everyone you know?
Right.
Isn't that the whole point of propaganda?
Well,
he encourages people like, all right, look, anyway, so he came in because our goddamn ice machine doesn't work. And so he'll come in to fix it every couple of weeks. Because, if he tells the boss that you need a new one, then he doesn't need to be coming in and fixing it.
Right. And then the boss isn't going to spend $100,000 to bail him out of jail for his terroristic threats.
Right. Well, and he does a bunch of other shit, but it's all along that line. So he comes in, now he's wearing a fucking cowboy hat, like a big one. Like,
good old 10-gallon.
It's probably, I don't know, I'd say 6.5 gallon hat.
Right, it's a big old hat.
Yeah, it's a big old dumbass cowboy hat, all right?
The middle of fucking Nebraska. Okay.
And this girl I work with, she's like, "Oh, you look like a sheriff." And he's like, "Yeah, there's a new sheriff in town." And then he goes out to his truck, and then we all continue working. He comes back and he hands her a piece of paper. It's another. He's like
printed paper or like notebook paper that he just tore out of his little notebook.
No, it was like printed paper, but like I said, it's not the normal dimensions. It's not like this. It's fucking this much longer and like this much wider. It's just a weird proportion.
Like a wanted poster.
Yeah, it's just like a weird proportion of paper that he always uses. That's his signature thing.
Okay.
That's the first thing that throws you off. It's like almost like a child's project, the way, like a collage or something, the way it looked.
But
anyway,
it's not. Yeah.
But it's not, no. And he says, so he hands her the piece. I'm standing behind her, like, because she's at the computer trying to ring shit in, and he, like, brings it and sets it down next to her, and I'm standing behind her because I'm trying to discreetly listen to every fucking word he's saying. You know what I mean? Without laughing. And then God knows what the fuck he would do. So then he's like, can't remember exactly what he said. He's like, this is my mayoral candidate poster.
Oh my God.
He's like, go ahead and put this on your Facebook. You can do it anonymously or whatever, and just ask people, like, have you heard about this? And she's like, yeah, okay. And then she walks away, and I walk up to the computer to ring some stuff in, and I'm like, he's sitting right behind me, and I'm just like looking down at the piece of paper right next. And the whole time I'm like, yes, this is fucking gold. This is gold right here. I've got to take this home. And then I fucking forgot to do it. But it's just literally this time. Look, it's just a picture of him at the top.
Yeah,
like
in the cowboy hat or no cowboy hat?
Leaning up against that car.
Yeah, okay.
Leaning up against his truck with his cowboy hat,
Yeah.
and below it says "New Sheriff in Town."
Holy
then
shit.
Yeah.
And then it's just this whole, I was fucking kidnapped and tortured and raped by over 100 different men and women, it said on there.
You know, what
the fuck?
No, that's
shoehorns that into every piece of literature he hands out.
Yeah, because that's
he, like, at the center of a human trafficking ring. Is that?
Did you not hear what I told you the story about?
I must
this
not
man?
have been. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
well,
it's a great mayoral candidacy platform.
Yeah, I'm like, once again, just like with this petition, this has nothing to do with any kind of mayoral,
I mean, you can make it a thing, right? Because we're right on I-80, and I-80 is a corridor for sex trafficking, right? Like, so it would make sense if he then said, let's stop sex trafficking, elect me as mayor. But he doesn't follow through. There's no follow through.
No, that's not even...
So
this dude's batshit crazy, Sarah. That's the whole follow through, like actual turn this into something is not even on the fucking table at all. Like, if I could show you this original petition that he wanted us to sign, and you just flip through it, you'd be like, this man is literally a
So
madman.
you need to just take your boss aside and be like, look, you gotta just get a new ice
My
machine.
boss bailed him out of jail for $100,000. He had $1 million bail. 10% of that was $100,000. My boss bailed him out.
Why?
Because he do good work for cheap.
It don't seem cheap. It seems like he held you for ransom.
Well, look here. Here's what I'd say for sure is that he's consistent. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah. Man, I hope it's still there when I go back to work.
Well, I hope you get a hold of it too.
Not,
just for your own, we can spread it around.
No, this is for you guys. Like, you guys have to see this. I want to hold it up to the camera real quick and just kind of do a quick scan.
I think we might want to post it as bonus content. I'm behind this guy. I think he'd be a great mayor of Omaha. What's the mayor of Omaha done for you lately?
Well, I'll tell you right now, he does not like guns. No guns. No guns allowed, he said. I'm the new sheriff in town. No guns allowed.
Let me tell you something. That is a big step up from where we're at as a society right now, because this is a good transition from the lighthearted to the serious, because there's been at least 30 people killed in the last 24 hours or so due to gun violence in a variety of locations, most recently in Dayton.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew about the shooting in El Paso.
El Paso, yeah.
Yeah, 21 killed there, another 9 killed in Dayton just hours later. So,
do you think those two are connected?
No, I don't. I mean, what's connected about them is the fact that we as a society are still suffering the very real after effects of the 2008 Supreme Court decision that ruled that the Second Amendment actually was not about the militia. It was about the individual's right to own their own gun. When in fact, the plain language of the Second Amendment is so clear, a well-regulated militia, those are the first words in the Second Amendment.
well regulated.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just saying you don't think that maybe there's a possibility these two guys weren't some sort of online pen pals and both decided on the same day, like, hey, let's just fucking, and
No,
we're
it's
talking,
probably
conspiring
coincidence.
about this.
I mean,
Interesting.
I'm sure they might have belonged to the same 4chan fucking
Or
dark
8chan.
Likely.
shit, but
That's likely, yeah.
Or 8chan. I heard one of them was involved in 8chan, which is obviously something like 4chan, only it's 8chan.
Are you
I
joking?
think
No,
it's all
I'm not.
4chan, dude.
All right, well, whatever.
Like letter A or the number 8.
The number 8. 8chan.
Like 4.
Yeah, no, I got
Doubled.
that. Doubled.
Get it?
CC.
I mean, it's twice as bad as 4chan, obviously, because it's
Double the
8chan.
trolling.
Yeah.
4chan's pretty, it's pretty bad. Like, it's as bad and as depraved as you can get. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
There have been actual serial killers who've, like, gone on 4chan and been like, go to these coordinates, there's a body there. And then there is a body there and shit.
Yeah, it's the absolute darkest of the darkest underbelly of the web.
Well, not the darkest, though. Actually, there are some darker ones.
It's the darkest in the most well-known, let's put it that way.
Those live Bitcoin field snuff film chat rooms are pretty dark. That's pretty fucked up.
Right. I stay clear of those, son. But yeah,
I don't-
Which is to say,
I think if you even Google where to find one of those, the instant you click enter, there's just going to be someone knocking on your door.
there's a SWAT team.
you would think that, wouldn't you? And
We
yet
just
they-
want to talk to you.
Clearly, they exist. Anyway, the point being here is that it's an interesting concept to think that those shootings might be related. But I think the real connection is A, our inability to have sensible gun regulation, and B, there's a spirit of hate and intolerance in the air here in America of late, and that's, I think, contributing to an overall sense. I mean, it's pushing weak minds over the edge, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's
almost
like having the temptation there. It's like leaving the steak out in front of the dog, you know what I mean? And then just leaving the room,
Yeah, well,
telling them not to do it.
It's almost like rhetoric has an actual effect on our society.
yeah.
Not that excuses, not that changes the fact that these guys are they're just pieces of shit. A lot of people are saying they're mentally ill, and people on the other side of the coin are saying that it's just straight up premeditated murder. Not that those two things are mutually exclusive.
Indeed.
But these guys, they're just fucking assholes. They're just fucking assholes.
Yeah, but they're
I'm just saying,
by the, like Dad said, they're empowered by the current, mental climate, I guess,
I agree.
to get out there and do this horrendous shit.
I agree. I'm just saying there shouldn't
Which
be
is why
any.
Alex Jones should not be given a fucking platform.
Sarah, Alex Jones, I do not believe that Alex Jones has any impact on whether people decide to shoot up these places at all. That dude he's angry and he says a lot of ignorant, stupid shit, and he's a fucking asshole, and I don't fucking like him. But it's like, those aren't, like, that's not the thing that's going to make you do this. There's a culmination of, like I said, mental illness,
Yeah.
the environment you grew up in, some sort of events that happened to you
That I all
made you
agree
feel
with.
small and weak, and you sought revenge in some way
And-
over one or all people.
Yes, and then couple that with easy access to military-grade weapons, and you've got a recipe for
Right.
mass murder.
Right. So Alex Jones, I don't want it to seem like I'm defending him, but he, in or not in that scenario, does not make a difference.
Well,
the
but
kid is
here's
still
the
going to shoot up
difference.
the school.
Sure. A kid might shoot up the school, but
That's
the
not the
fact that
core issue
he
here.
has his little corner, right, that he just spews hatred out of. It's when people shine spotlights on that corner so that the flies can all flock to him. That is the issue.
Well,
And,
let me tell you what another issue is. I'm going to take an unpopular view here on gun control. If we assume, for example, that we don't have the political will to control guns, then my proposal is a 54-state solution requiring that all firearms that are owned and that I think that all concealed weapons programs should be eliminated, and everybody who wants to have a weapon in public needs to publicly display it. They need to wear that shit on their hip.
And we need thorough background checks for everyone.
I'm okay with that. Sure, thorough background checks, whatever. But I will tell you, I'm not into a concealed weapon. That's a pain in the ass, and it's hard to get to. And by the time you get it out, I mean, no one knows it. It's not a deterrent.
These situations like,
like
the cops being like, oh, he was reaching for his gun.
Exactly. A concealed weapon is not a deterrent to a crazy person. Now,
Right.
a weapon that is openly carried, that's a deterrent. So if
That's a good point.
we can't come up with any other solution, then we should all be wearing guns. I will tell you, this is true. The safest I've ever felt in my life was wearing a 9mm pistol on my chest at all times in Afghanistan. And I mean at all times. I had that weapon within firing distance, and I was ready to use it. Ready to use it. Practice using it.
That's what I said. We've had this exact conversation on our very first episode.
Oh, really?
Of this podcast.
Oh, well, good.
I said not in all those words. I just said everybody. Look, there's going to be guns no matter what. We should just train. There should be a program in school to train in high school to train everyone how to use a gun. And then when you're 18 or 21 or whatever, you pass some sort of psychiatric evaluation, of course, a background check, and you're given a state issued firearm that you would be.
That's what they do in
Forced to
Switzerland.
wear on your chest at all times if you want to wear it.
That's what they do in Switzerland, more or less. But anyway, so in the meantime, though, what a fucking drag for all those dead people and their families. What a drag.
I'm just saying, that way when you get your assault rifle and you're ready to go shoot up that mall, like, every fucking person there is going to have a gun too. Like, you're not going to be able to fucking just get a bunch of unarmed people unawares. Yeah, it's not going to be lambs to the slaughter. Like, you're gonna go die in a shootout. Some people want to die that way. They want to die in a shootout, so they're just going to do it anyway. There's always sick people. It's the tragedy of the commons. As long as there's something to take advantage of, it will be taken advantage of in the worst ways possible. But, there's no clear-cut, easy, or quick solution to this problem.
Yes.
Sure, there is. We just solved it. Everybody gets a gun.
Get on it.
Everybody has to wear it out.
Train the fucking kids. Arm the children. Train them.
Train them and arm them. Train them and arm them.
All right, guys, that's lunch.
All right, that is lunch. All right, I'm glad we solved that issue. Moving on, there was some other news this week. President Trump, President Trump, the whole attacks on Baltimore and other cities, how interesting that is. So that all happened. And then that's despite the fact, by the way, that most urban centers have seen something of a renaissance in the 21st century. So it's not entirely accurate. There's obviously almost every major city has problems with homelessness and some areas of poverty and entrenched poverty even. But most major metropolitan areas have seen something of a resurgence in the 21st century, interestingly enough. But then again, George Trump's not necessarily part of the reality-based community when it comes to facts.
Well, I mean, he's had such a great influence growing up.
You know what I learned this week?
What did you learn? Today I learned.
TIL. Well, it was earlier this week, but I just,
TWIL. Actually,
Hawaii allows people to throw ashes of their loved ones, deceased loved ones, into their volcanoes for a $25 fee if they do it discreetly.
Holy shit, y'all.
To which I say, if you do it discreetly enough, then
who needs the $25?
Yeah, why are you paying $25? But whatever.
A furtive scattering of ashes.
What you doing there? Nothing.
Go, get him out.
Nothing at all. There's no. I was just having a cigarette. Over there? Just having a cigarette. That's all. That's all. These are just cigarette ashes.
We got another one dumping ashes. Get there. Toss him in the fucking volcano.
Throw the whole word. Let's go.
If they catch you dumping ashes in there, they just sneak up behind you and boot you in too.
No,
the bodyguards are ready to sacrifice themselves.
No, first they get your $25.
Yeah. Right. First they slowly pick your wallet out of your back pocket, and right when you think you feel something turn around, that's when they boot you in. Krakatoa.
Yeah, should have paid that $25, Holmes. All right. That's good news. Good news story right there. Anyway, then the other thing that's happened this week is President Trump has threatened to raise tariffs on Chinese goods again, and that caused the markets to tank on Friday. So this trade war, I don't know, dog. It doesn't seem to be going that well. This trade war.
But he's a business genius. He knows how to run the business.
Maybe he's got a plan.
Correctly.
Maybe he's trying to fight some sort of economic war of attrition with China.
He is. That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Play the long game. Yeah. Okay? It'll all come back in his favor. You just wait.
Or he can just stall until... You know what? I feel like that dude's not going to want to run for president a second time.
He's already running. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think he's not going to... Yeah, but I feel like he's not going to,
But his heart's not going to be...
Yeah, he's not going to go hard.
It's all about pride.
I think
that ego.
I'm just saying, like, that's gotta be such a shitty job, dude. I would not want that job at all.
Well,
There'd just be too much shit going on, and people are gonna fucking. Like, you know, when Obama wore that tan suit and people were jumping down his throat because of it, like that was a scandal, was him wearing a tan
That was the
fucking
only scandal
suit.
of his presidency, but yes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, if like even doing it the best you possibly could as a president, you couldn't be doing anything better. Not that I'm saying that Obama did that, but anybody, like, they're still gonna find some shit to fucking. People are still gonna hate your guts forever. There's always gonna be someone out there who like wants to kill you, maybe a couple of people just to do it because you are or were a president.
The biggest title.
But it would be cool to know what's up with Area 51. Just be like very first day, hey, tell me all that. Just to make them tell you everything and then just quit.
I ran for president just to get the straight story on Area 51. Now I'm out of here.
I'm good. Peace. I'll take that Secret Service detail for life, though.
My VP's got it covered from here.
Oh, that's great. Well, I've got good news for both of you. Well, especially for you, Nick. Sarah, you're still cool. Nick, I don't know about presidency. I mean, I don't want to squash any kind of dreams that you have, but you already told me you don't want the job anyway. So
I don't.
Yeah, good. That's good. All right, moving on.
What was the news?
Yeah, what was the news?
Kind of built us up and then...
What do you mean, what was the news?
You said I do have good news for you.
Oh, the good news is that you're never going to be president. That's the good news.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I share that good news. I'm never going to be president either. So, but Sarah might be. Sarah could be.
No, I don't think so.
You're right. Your words on this podcast will come
just
back
be-
to haunt you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That would be one.
that
Someone
would
would
be
dig that up.
first, I guess. Never mind my crippling anxiety when I go to speak in front of people. That would be number 2.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And the
then-
job, dude. Someone's coming after you at all times. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's just a whole lot of spotlight that I'm
cutthroat.
I have always kind of thought that I am much more comfortable in a position as the right hand man,
Yeah.
influencer, as it were.
Yes.
I don't have the stage presence.
The one doing everything,
for the
but
king.
just not the face of it.
Yeah, I don't need to be the public face. I'll just, sweep up behind. That's
I would
fine.
hate that. Just to be like in charge of something just to have responsibilities as much as like running a country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone like knows that you're the one doing it, even if you're not actually doing it, even if there's like some sort of shadow people
Nah,
behind
man,
you.
it's just middle management. Like, that's all middle management is.
Yeah, but bumped up to the scale of the entire country.
Nick's right. I mean, the kinds of things that a president has to know, like, for example, do I have a dresser drawer? Do I not have a dresser drawer? I mean, that kind of...
Did I go to Wendy's twice yesterday?
I mean, that kind of level of knowledge...
Can take care of that for you.
I mean, they probably have a log of that kind of activity, but they're not going to know. They're not going to know what kind of furniture you've got. I mean, that kind of pressure, no one needs that. No one needs it.
Too much pressure.
Yeah. So here's another piece of news. I listened this week to a podcast that featured a writer from the Washington Post whose name escapes me, but basically he did a year-long project to see where all of his data was being collected. And it turned...
Lord.
Yeah, his data is being collected everywhere and sold to everyone. And it just emphasized to me that basically you, me, everyone in this country is basically a commoditized data-based product at this point. Which is
post-capitalism.
It's a little...
We're not post, we're late-stage capitalism.
It's surveillance capitalism. I've had this conversation before, but it just emphasizes the reality of the situation.
Yeah, okay, you're right. But, I mean...
Yeah.
Facebook off your phone, hit the gym, lawyer up.
Delete Facebook, hit the gym, lawyer up. That's my answer to that.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll move on.
And
Okay.
then, they can get people say, well, you still got a phone. You still use Google, don't you? What are you Googling? I'm like, what exactly are you Googling that's so much that they know everything about your life?
It's more...
You know what? If you don't need to Google it, don't Google it if you're so worried about the data.
I'm
Use
fine.
DuckDuckGo. Ta-da.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy. It's too stupid.
Nothing to nobody.
Too stupid a name. All right. Anyway, moving on. So there was something else I wanted to share with you, children. Can't remember what it is now. I'm sure it wasn't important. So perhaps I'll
Did you
just...
listen to anything? Did you read anything? I mean, you just said that you listened to that podcast, whatever
I did.
that was.
Yeah. And I told you about the book Sapiens, didn't I? I'm sure I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. It's stuck. It's resonated with me. So I guess I have not seeing
Maybe
her.
I'll actually add it to my list then.
If I say it twice. Oh, I know what I meant to mention. So, I've occasionally... Do you think Ben's still listening?
Oh, yeah.
He is.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Oh,
Well, I guess, again, we'll find out shortly.
Well, wait a minute. Sarah said specifically, like, oh, yeah. Like, you had some sort of information about that. Do you?
Well, I mean, he did ask me something, either about something we talked about or something we could talk about, but I also can't tell you when that was.
I
so,
see.
like, it's just this nebulous, I remember the conversation sort of.
Right. It
That
could
may
have...
or may not have happened in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I understand. It could have taken place yesterday. It could have taken place at Christmas. Who can say?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't know if Ben's listening. But I'll tell you who definitely is listening. My buddy Chris. He's listening. He's catching up on all the episodes. And then he'll come and give me this detailed analysis of the bits and the callbacks and what we should have done. Oh, yeah.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not kidding.
I was just
super
about to plant some
but
paranoid seed in your mind that he's just saying that. Just saying that he's catching up on. Yeah, sure, I caught up on all of them.
Oh, no.
No problem.
Yeah. No, I would know the difference. He's got like specific pieces of the pod.
You would know the difference when you sit him down in a supply closet and put a lamp light on his eyeball. Ask him, drill him questions
watch
about
the sweat bead down his cheek.
No, well, that I can't really do that because he could do that to me, but I can't do that to him because he remembers shit about this podcast that I don't remember. Like, oh, hey, man, you did X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I guess we did. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds right.
Shouts out to Chris.
Yeah. Several shouts out to Chris. Yeah.
Super shouts out.
Seriously, we need to have him on the
You get a
pod.
gold listener star, dude.
We need to have him on. I mean, that's all
Yeah,
we
we
should.
should.
We should. All right. Well, we'll plan on it at some time when he's available. We'll get him into the rotation. He'd enjoy it.
The rotation.
As it were. So, no, I didn't really see or read or do anything. It's just been, work. Oh, except for one thing. Elsie and Brad and I went and saw The Violent Femmes and Ben Folds 5 at the Anthem. Yeah, were they?
How was that?
It was kick-ass. Quite good. I had never seen The Violent Femmes before, and I'm only familiar with basically one or two of their songs.
Yeah, like their hits.
Yeah, and they only had one or two hits. One of those hits, of course, is "Let Me Go On, like a blister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I'm the one, or I know you're the one, or whatever."
Yeah. Very 90s.
Yeah, so that's a great tune, obviously, but they were very good. I was quite impressed. I enjoyed that a lot.
Well, and I know you like Ben Folds.
I do like Ben Folds. This is, I think, the fourth time I've seen him. Might be the fifth, but
Dear God.
most over 20 years. Like once.
That makes sense.
Yeah, once every 5 years isn't that often. And he's still quite good. I'm surprised and pleased to see that he still has the vocal range that he had, 20 years ago, for sure. But I told Elsie this, and she, I think, agreed. Well, how could she know? Because she didn't see him 20 years ago. But I enjoyed Ben Folds 5 much better than his current band. And, his current band is okay, but his current band is really designed to fade into the woodwork. Versus,
as he takes center stage, it's the same thing. Panic at the Disco is the same damn way. It became the Brandon Urie show.
But it's such a good show, though. It is a good fucking show.
Sure, it's just not Panic.
It's Brandon.
Yeah,
it's Brandon.
His new
at the
music
disco.
is just goddamn so annoying now. So annoying. That one hit, he's, "Hey, look, I made it. I made it. Just repeat that ad nauseum. I made it.
That's very good. That's a
I
very
got
good.
an idea. Let's play that song 15 times in a row at the highest decibels we could possibly achieve inside this Chinese restaurant while we turn the lights on and off very quickly to simulate a strobe light effect so that we can torture our employees and make them into mindless Chinese zombies.
Is that why? Is that what's happening at your restaurant?
Well, they're turning out mass shooters, you see.
Just imagine, like, you're in a fucking field digging a ditch.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's just that song is being played out of the sky so loud that your ears bleed for 16 hours straight. Hey, look, Mom, I made it.
Why would I imagine that?
That's what it's like at my job.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. Right.
Hey, look, Mom, I made it.
Except for instead of digging a ditch, you're saying, would you like Pepsi with that?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say those words, but
right. There's some
I
similar
say,
words.
you want more? No? Okay.
Tip me now.
Yes, I'm your server.
Tip me now. All right, good. Yeah, well, that's a shame.
Money me now. Me needing a lot of money. Money, please.
Well, it's a hard knock life, that's for sure. So,
yeah.
So that's
they do. That's like that was a popular form of torture employed by the CIA, was to play American songs really loud for extended periods of time.
I thought it was to make their subjects work in Chinese restaurants.
Well, they're interchangeable. Those, they made that illegal over in the Middle East, so they had to come back here and continue their jobs.
Right, and put them in Chinese restaurants. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. So what did you kids listen to or see this week? Anything of interest?
Yes. I'm so glad you asked.
Really?
We went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, so can you speak into the mic or what?
No, but... Is that better?
Like 1,000 times, yeah.
Well, the issue.
You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it like this.
It's on a swivel. Anyway. So we went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Leo DiCaprio and
Brad Pitt? Yeah.
And that was Tarantino's movie, right?
Yep.
And Lena Dunham.
Want to know the only redeeming feature of that movie?
Yes.
Was
the cast.
I see.
It wasn't good.
No, it was 2.5 hours of Brad Pitt driving around in a car while Leonardo DiCaprio drinks himself and cries himself to sleep. That was it.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, I guess, if that's what you're going for, but there was no story.
Really?
It was just, I guess it was supposed to be a glimpse into 1950s Hollywood, and there was a tiny little subplot tying into the Manson murders.
Okay, so in other words, the late 60s Hollywood.
Sure, whatever. And yeah, but that was it. There was one scene that had a lot of tension that was pretty good, but again, only because Brad Pitt carried it through.
Right.
So
well,
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? 2.5 of 5 stars? 2 stars out of 5?
Yeah, probably.
I kind of wanted to see that movie just because of the cast, and it was the Quentin Tarantino movie. So I figured
if you have 3 hours to waste, absolutely. But it is literally it's not as bad as The Master, but only the cast is better.
Okay.
Okay. But clearly, since you're bringing up The Master in comparison to this film, you're thinking about it in the same ilk.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I definitely exited the theater and was like, why?
I got it. Okay.
I'm glad that even you, Dad, saw that I was with you when we saw The Master, because I was a kid when we saw it. And you were a grown-ass fucking man. So even you walked out was like, I have no fucking idea what that was about. So I know now I can think back on it and just know that it wasn't because I was a fucking kid. Just because I was a kid. It was also because it was a fucking directionless, aimless movie.
Well, you weren't a child. You were like 15 years old, I think.
I was like 15, but
yeah. All right. Good point.
My movie palette wasn't as refined.
It wasn't as extensive at that time. All right, so that's a good review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. Our reviewer says, give it a miss, or catch it on your next airline flight.
Yeah, it would be a great movie for an airline flight, because the whole time you're just spent wondering, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is the point? What the fuck? What? How long have I been here? And then the flight's over.
And then your flight's done. That's good. And if your flight's still going on, you can just replay it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Submit yourself a second time.
All right. Well, what about you, Nick? And you see anything, read anything, hear anything?
Hey, look, I made it.
Some say you can still hear it to this day.
Yes. Okay. I guess.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
It's
not like I heard about something cool, but I can't remember.
That's great.
I should write these things down.
I agree, 100%. So in the meantime, we did have a return to the National Football League this week. The Hall of Fame game on Thursday featured the new-look Denver Broncos against the semi-new-look Atlanta Falcons, and the Broncos were playing all of their backups and scrubs in basically a glorified scrimmage, defeated the Atlanta Falcons 14-10.
Yeah, I caught like the second quarter of that game.
Oh, I see. Hey, good news. I have an Elsie sighting. Don't know if she's going to pop in. Oh, nope. She's just waving. She's not popping in. Nope. It's just a wave and a goodbye. Well, it's
hello.
Shave and a haircut.
It was strictly a drive-by. All right. So that happened in sports, and then that's really. We have a number of people who went into the Hall of Fame, including a bunch of Champ Bailey from the Broncos, Pat Bowlen from the Broncos went into the Hall of Fame, former owner, and now deceased. But
Peyton Manning just turned 40 or 42 or some bullshit.
Hold on.
Was that guy?
Can we just talk about, speaking of owners?
Yeah. What? Yes.
Yes. Let me just make sure I got the right guy here.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark Clark Davis. Yeah, dude, the owner of the Raiders. Sarah, look up owner of the Raiders.
Yeah,
right
Mark
now.
Davis. Yeah, no, he's the son of Al Davis. So
yeah, just look at him. This man is worth $1 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah, he's
Where's his chin?
Yeah,
look at his fucking haircut, bro.
He's $1 million, but he can't fucking plastic. Oh my god!
Look at his haircut.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's
this man's
bad.
got hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh my god!
And he gets his haircut like that, dude.
Yeah, he could actually
bowl cut I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's like intentionally poorly done bowl cut.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
He thinks it looks good.
Who hurt him?
Yeah, who did this to him? It's like in the movie Kung Pao when they're like, "This is Wimp Lo. We trained him wrong from birth as a joke." You know, it's like someone just told him his whole life that was a cool hairstyle as a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
look at the pain in his eyes.
Yeah, dude. That one directly above it, like third from the right there.
Yeah.
He looks, barely human in that. The combination of his beady almond eyes along with his almost sharp teeth with that haircut makes him look like some sort of demonic mammalian
buddy, that was a trick.
creature in a suit.
You know what, though? I'll tell you this. He has one of the most attractive wallets in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I know that's right.
That's good looking.
But you wouldn't know that's right just by looking at him. You would think he's a homeless man who found a pristine suit somehow. You really would.
Off of the body that he just, created.
Yeah.
Well,
off of the corpse he just manifested.
Well, so, as Broncos fans, we hate the Raiders. Here's just one more reason. You get right down to it.
I mean, yeah, that's just another reason to pity them. I mean, no matter what you do, that's always hanging over your head. That guy owns the team. So, don't get too excited no matter what, because, we just go up the ladder real quick and look at that motherfucker. See that shit with your eyes closed.
It's horrifying. Yes.
Yeah, it is horrifying.
You know what? Now might be a good time to do our Super Bowl picks, because the trendy pick right now is the Cleveland Browns to represent the AFC.
They are
in the
stacked.
Super Bowl. The Browns are?
Yeah.
They're stacked, but they don't have any experience.
Okay, well, maybe not this season. But as long as no one gets traded or injured or...
But everyone always gets injured.
Well, injured beyond the point of, getting some good play in, getting some good experience.
Yeah.
I guess that happens over multiple seasons, though.
Generally, yeah. So we'll see. We don't even know we don't know what the kind of chemistry between Odell Beckham, ODB,
Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes, and Baker Mayfield is even going to be, if they're going to even have any chemistry. We don't know.
We don't. We'll see. We'll see if it's the chemistry or the skill. You know what I mean?
Exactly. To my mind, it's anybody's season. So I will tell you another trendy pick is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now that they've got...
Jaguar.
Yes, the Jaguars. Now that they've got an excuse...
Jaguar is an animal. You are a talking pickle. We can make a deal.
Good Rick and Morty reference. But yes, so the Jaguars, and please excuse me, Sarah, now have, as he's come to be known, Big Dick Nick Foles behind center. And
that's right.
And so with Nick Foles at the helm, there's thoughts.
That big dick energy is what you're telling me.
It does
what I'm
have
telling
that
you.
big dick energy for sure. Yeah, that's textbook big dick energy. Textbook.
Good. I'm glad I didn't.
When that's your name, I mean, yeah, that's the energy. That's the aura.
Right. It is.
That's
If
the
you have the
chi.
confidence to have that name,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you got to back it up, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
There's that.
yeah, so a lot of excitement there. So who knows? And then in the NFC, Jimmy Jesus, Jimmy Garoppolo, also known as Jimmy Jesus, coming back to San Francisco. So let's see if he can lead them to glory. And of course, in terms of the overall National Football Conference, the Dallas Cowboys, as long as Ezekiel Elliott ends his holdout, who knows what can happen there? I mean, they could have a very, very strong team.
They could.
Go
We'll see.
team.
Yeah, go
Time will tell.
Go footballing. So, you getting any wind of what's going on in the Nebraska corn shucker camp, Nick?
No.
I mean,
No. We all Nebraska just kind of expected Scott Frost to come up in here and just change our world. And then he didn't, and
It's almost like you have to work with the what you got.
yeah, I mean, everyone just refers back to his previous track record was it Miami?
University of Central Florida, the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Went undefeated. Had an undefeated season.
Yeah, turned them around when they previously had not won the season before.
Exactly.
Right?
So, I mean, it's entirely possible that he can do the same thing this year. Who can say?
Yeah. So, but short answer is no.
Got it. All right. Very good. Well, let's move on to the UFC. I'm sure you watched the fights last night.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They were very disappointing. But did we ever talk about John Jones on this?
We've talked about him
At
several
length
times. Many
Yeah,
times.
but like he got in trouble again. Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
With those strippers and
Yeah, we brought it up. Why? He's still going to fight. I mean, he's the UFC's main attraction. Big deal.
yeah, he's the golden boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's just like I don't understand how people can continue to defend. Like, look, if you watch this guy's interviews, you know what I mean? And the interviewer's like, "So what's next for you? What do you like to do?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to do the best I can out here, and it's all up to God. Thank you very much, Jesus.
Right.
I'm
Well,
just doing what I can for the Lord."
yeah.
And then this shit comes out, and you're like, "This guy is a fucking sociopath." The way he looks at the camera with like that little grin on his face when he's like, "I'm just doing what I can. It's okay."
Might be a legitimate psychopath.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, were you doing that? Were you giving it up to Jesus when you hit that pregnant woman when you were drunk as fuck? Or
Yes.
when you choke slam that stripper? Or
Yes.
what's up?
Both of those were for the Lord's benefit.
It's all for Jesus. He needs more of that.
So today I went to lunch
Yes.
and there was this couple behind me who were having a very serious conversation. They must have just been done with church and they were talking pretty quietly.
Or
but,
choich, as I
but-
call it.
Yeah.
But, I could still hear them over the sounds of my grazing.
Right.
So they were talking about, they wish that they had the freedom that the faithless have. And they just
I
have
do too,
this
buddy.
deep-seated worry and genuine fear that their church leadership is leading them down the wrong path. And I was like,
Like in what sense? What sense might the church leadership be leading them toward
Yeah,
more
that
freedom?
sounds like some dark shit. Like,
yeah.
yeah, Pastor Robinson has been kind of making me wonder if we're not going to go to hell when we've been sacrificing those small cats and dogs in the basement after his sermon. I'm starting to get
I'm starting
concerned.
to get a little nervous about the fact that the choir boys lock the doors behind us every Sunday.
Yeah. So what do we think that Pastor Rob is doing? Pastor who? Pastor who?
I just
don't
made that up.
Oh,
I
Pastor
made that
Rob.
up.
Yeah, I you now have all of the information that I gleaned from that
I
conversation.
see. Well, but what I gleaned from that is two things. One is that they wish they didn't have a faith. That's easily remedied. Proof.
Right.
Yeah,
It
just
almost
don't.
sounds like
Stop.
it almost sounds
Congratulations, you're in.
like you're on the way.
You're a premium Diamond Club member now.
I should have just popped my head over the booth and been like, "Yo, let me invite you to my club."
Right. The Club of the Faithless. Yes, indeed.
I like that actually. It sounds fancy.
It does, doesn't it?
Sounds a little edgy.
Club of the Faithless. Well, now,
was
Nick,
in a
what's
while.
included with our Diamond Premium membership in the Club of the Faithless?
Well, Boy, wouldn't you like to know?
I sure would, because I'm clearly not a premium diamond
Let me
member.
recruit you. I don't know. You don't have to worry about getting smited at all. You can just go ahead and cross that off.
You can blaspheme pretty
Yeah,
freely.
you can blaspheme on the regular. You want to blaspheme in the morning. Boom. You want to blaspheme for lunch. You blaspheme. One more at night. Why not? You don't have to worry about any plagues, any horsemen of the apocalypse. None of that.
Cleared up.
Holy ghosts, don't need to worry about that. No crucifixions, no bleeding, no mess.
No more Wednesday Bible school.
No more Awanas. Waking up for Sunday? Fuck that. We're sleeping in Sunday now.
Well, I was thinking
Sunday's best. Talk about pajamas and some ice cream, dog.
I was thinking more about like a set of hand-tooled luggage, or perhaps I don't
Buy
know.
that for yourself if you want with all the money you're saving, not giving it to the church. That's another one. Why don't you just pretend you're putting money in the collection plate and instead put it into your own bank account, and then you can spend it on whatever the fuck you want.
All a benefit of the premium diamond membership of the Club of the Faithless.
The list goes on as well. I could go on.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up. That's good. All right. Whew. Well, I don't know how we got to there from John Jones, but I'm glad we did. Sure glad we did.
Yeah. But anyway, in all seriousness, but the fights last night were not. I to be fair, I didn't watch the preliminaries. I only watched the main event. Didn't even watch the co-main event. Clay Guida.
There was, yeah.
Who
So
was it?
Clay Guida
Ryan?
and Jim
Miller.
Miller,
Yeah.
who I think we've seen before.
Yeah, Jim Miller's he's a good fighter.
Well, Jim Miller won. He won by guillotine. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a pretty entertaining fight. There was another fight on the prelim that it was like a super quick submission by rear naked choke. So that was interesting. But the rest of them were pretty underwhelming.
I heard Robbie Lawler got steamrolled.
He got tooled on for a solid 25 minutes. Robbie Tyrone Woodley Lawler is what happened.
Oh, I see.
So he just did not give it anything.
Well, 25 minutes is a long time to fight. And,
I guess his first round, he came out swinging a little bit. And then in the fifth round, he found some sort of pep, but not a whole lot.
Who was he fighting?
He was fighting fucking Colby Covington, who was best BFFs with the Trumps, who were there.
Great.
Yeah. Go America.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler made me look like a real fucking asshole.
How so?
I was like, oh, he's just giving the old rope a dope. He's just letting him get tired, letting him gas his arms out. Yeah, he's going to come back in the fourth or fifth round and then unload on his ass. That's why he's not doing a single goddamn thing these first 3 rounds for sure. But then, no.
Yeah, then no. Well,
then he just continued to not do anything for another 5 rounds. Well, for another whatever.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed. I was like, now he either went into that fight injured, sick, or he threw the fucking thing.
That's interesting because he's a better fighter than that. You think?
Well, dude, you watch what he did with his last fight, and I mean, he still lost to Ben Askren, controversially though. And he came in that fight, he was throwing that. Ben Askren's a wrestler. He was throwing him around, knocking him the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to say knocked out, but
yeah,
because there's a video of him.
But instead, you said knocked up, so I assume he got him pregnant.
He did. He impregnated him the way.
The Lord intended.
Natural way.
Which is why it was a controversial decision against him.
When you got the premium diamond gold membership pass to the Faithless Club, every way is the natural way.
Club of the Faithless. Club of the Faithless.
If you did it, it's natural. Anyway, he was beating the shit out of Ben Askren in a very ferocious manner, like he does.
Yeah.
Like Lawler does, and then he just never showed up to that fight. I'm waiting for him to show up the whole time. He never did, and just got worked for 5 rounds and then lost.
Well,
it was incredibly disappointing. I've never seen him fight like that.
Well, Monsieur Covington, I'm sure we'll get next some sort of.
He's gonna fight Kamaru Usman.
Mm-hmm. That championship fight. He was number 2, so there's nowhere else for him to go.
All right. Well, we'll see if his luck holds and if he's really the fighter that he seemed to be against Robbie Lawler. So there.
Lobby Roller.
Lobby Roller. All right. Well, kids, are we missing anything? Is there anything that we're missing that you'd like to add?
No!
Well, thanks for singing that. I guess that's what you learn when you listen to that song over and over at your restaurant.
Hey, my baby.
All right.
All right.
Sarah?
This has been Purgatory.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Anything, Sarah, from you?
Nope. Please, God, no.
All right. A Shinn Show is a production of Shinfluence. It features the voices and opinions of the Shinn family, which are exclusively their own. It's brought to you on a fake basis by Ziff's Fine Dining in Invercargill, New Zealand, and by The Throne Room, Tattoos, also in Invercargill, New Zealand, both fake sponsors of A Shinn Show for nearly a billionth of a millennium. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you care to listen to a bunch of trash. Be sure and join us next week when we'll hear Nicholas say...
Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Except I didn't.
Hey, look,
Except
Ma.
I'm still here.
Right. Got it. Okay.
In your home.
Right.
Watching. Okay, all right.
Good. And we'll hear Sarah say...
No.
No. No, we're not. I'm
I
not.
don't want any part of this. Don't lump me in with that guy. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's great. Well, I hate to say it's over, but it's over. Love you, kids.
Love you.